All right. Notice is hereby given of the regular meeting of the governing body of Planning and Zoning Commission on the 11th of August, 2022 at 6 p.m. Thea, could you give the invocation?
I'll be happy to. Heavenly Father, please consider our earth, our plants, our livestock. We desperately need some rain. And Heavenly Father, our country is so divided right now that if we could just get back to you and unify, it would be so helpful. So please help us to unify under your leadership, your love, and in your name we pray. Amen.
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 Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Loopy, do we have any remarks from visitors?
No, sir.
Okay, so we can just go right into item number 4, which is consideration and possible action of the replat application submitted by Ram Navasota LLC for the replat of the property legally described as Giaro, is that it? Guerrero, okay. Guerrero subdivision lot 2R, replat 2022-322317. Then S3902 Giaro, I can't even say that. 2 subdivision lot 1, S3902 Giaro 2 subdivision lot 2, S3902 Giaro 2 subdivision lot 3, S3902 Giaro 2 subdivision lot 5, S3902 Giaro subdivision lot 6, S3902 Giaro 2 subdivision lot 4, Giaro subdivision lot 3R, replat 2022-322317, Giaro subdivision lot 4R, replat 2022-322317, Giaro subdivision lot 5R, replat 2022-322317. Okay. Loopy?
John, can you repeat that one more time? Get it.
Touche.
Vice Chairman, Planning and Zoning Commission, good evening. Just a quick summary on this. So it's a pretty straightforward replat, although it doesn't read that way, obviously. It's taking 10 lots. A lot of those were existing or remaining portions of the previous replat when Chicken Express developed. And so this replat takes 10 existing lots and plats them into a new name subdivision called RAM into 4 lots. One of the lots will be the future site of the next item, which is a Jack in the Box restaurant. There's 2 other empty pad sites for future developments, and then there's one specific lot, which is, I believe, lot 4, if I'm not mistaken, that is going to be specifically used for detention of all 3 lots. And so if you'll have any questions, Nicholas, I'm not going to say your last name because I'll probably slaughter it, but Nicholas with SEK Engineering is here if you'll have any questions. Here's James.
There it is.
Pretty good. Okay.
It's my understanding that one of the lots is going to be retention for all of the other. Is that going to be correct, or is it just?
Yeah, that's correct. Dr. Walla, lot number 4, if you look on the plat, it's the bottom left corner. directly under the Chicken Express site.
Okay.
I'll pull it up on the screen too.
Did the replat meet all of the rules and regs?
Yes, ma'am. It's been reviewed. Our engineers went, there were several comments and all of them have been addressed.
I make a motion, we approve the, replat application submitted by Ram Navasota. Do I have to say all that?
I think that's good.
Do I, okay. I don't have to?
I think we're
I'm
good.
done?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we're,
Okay, good.
we know which item you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, none. Motion carries. Okay, we lift to item number 5, which is consideration of possible action of the preliminary site plan via Lou sidewalk construction application submitted by Ram Navasota LLC for the property located at 2010 Highway 105 East, Navasota, Grimes County, Texas 77868 for the development of the Jack in the Box restaurant. The property affected is legally described as Ram Development Block 1, Lot 1.
Vice Chairman, Planning and Zoning Commission. So again, this is the preliminary site plan for the Jack in the Box restaurant. Staff has been working with our reviewing engineer as well as Nicholas with SEK Engineering on the review of this site plan. Gone through several revisions and finally we're at the completion point. All comments were addressed. There was one outstanding, which is addressed in the staff report. So they are asking for a fee in lieu of sidewalk construction along that County Road 425 right-of-way, which the total fee totals $7,519.32, and that's from 208 feet of right-of-way frontage along that county road. And just a little bit of background, on Monday regarding that road, council approved a development agreement. So the developer for Jack in the Box has agreed to do significant improvements on that road. I don't know if any of you guys had a chance to drive out there and look, but the existing road is in pretty bad shape, the north and south stretch especially. And so Ram Navasota has entered into a 380 agreement with the city, and they're going to improve that roadway to 30-foot wide pavement and some other drainage improvements. And in a return, the city's going to refund a portion of that cost. But it's going to be based on these 3 sites getting developed. So they'll get a third when Jack in the Box is done, and then the other 2/3 when the other 2 sites get developed. And just a little bit of background on that. And so because County Road 425, the right-of-way is really, really narrow, it really wasn't feasible for sidewalks, especially with us trying to make sure that that road is adequate for commercial traffic. So all of that came to a head, and you know, as far as staff, we think that the fee in lieu of would be appropriate for this situation because they were already working with a really, really tight right-of-way and a really tight site there. And again, Nicholas with SEK Engineering is here if y'all have any questions.
The fee in lieu of is for the north-south on Durden or on the frontage of 105?
Durden, yeah. This is labeled as Durden, but that's actually that County Road 425.
That's 425?
Yeah.
And when you're talking about doing a third of the work as each of those 3 lots are developed, so that means you're doing part of Durden and then part of Durden and then part of Durden again and working all the way around the corner, or just the third of the north-south piece?
No, so let me demonstrate it on the site plan here. Flipped it the wrong way.
There you go.
So what the developer is improving is only this portion, the north and south
Okay.
direction, and they stop about 15 to 20 feet around the bend. So the total cost of this, the city is going to pay back a third of that cost, and that third is split into 3/3.
Okay.
And they'll be refunded with Jack in the Box, this pad site, and this pad site are developed.
They do the whole piece and they get reimbursed as the land is developed.
Correct.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah. And so the sidewalk, they have it along 105.
They will
But-
put the 105 sidewalk in?
Yes, 105 is there.
Chicken Express has the sidewalk as well?
Correct.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I was, okay.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
they'll tie
I'm
in
following
there.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll tie
Makes
in
perfect
there.
sense, Yeah.
And here, like I said, it was just really, really tight. It's only about 40 feet. That's lower than any of our established right-of-ways in the city. And so to make it work, that was the best route.
Okay.
On the Dirty Street there, from Jack in the Box, is it a way to get out on that back street on Dirty Street
Close
from
to
Jack in
the
the Box?
highway and there.
Yes. So here there will be a shared access easement across the front of Chicken Express and that other pad site here. This is that vacant pad site.
Right.
Here's the Chicken Express site. So there'll be access along stripes to come across here, and then there's also a rear drive onto that roadway, that County Road 425 Durden. So there is.
So they can go right and left as they exit?
Yes, correct. And there's another one up here as well.
There'll be two exits.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Lupe, the numbers on that agenda 5, they don't match. The 75-1932, and then down there under budgetary and financial summary, they're different numbers. One is a 9, the fourth digit is a 9 at the top, and then it's a 0. See that?
Oh yeah, that's a typo. That should be. Here, I can do the math really quick.
Okay.
I'm shorting us $9 there. Yeah, it should be that 510 actually. So the one in the budgetary information, that one's the correct one. So it's $7,510.32.
Okay.
So we're looking at a preliminary site plan and a fee in lieu of sidewalk construction
Correct.
in this.
Mhm.
So we're looking at two things, not one.
Yes.
Okay.
Lupe, how many people live on Durden Street there?
I don't know exactly offhand, but I know that there's at least probably 6 or 7 homes along the south side of Durden, and I know 2 on the north side. So probably around 10 or so residences. But depending on how many people live in those homes, maybe a dozen or so, maybe a little more, just depending on how many
No, I
households.
was structure what I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, structures is about 8 or 9.
So I have a few questions for Nicholas. Yes. Can you come up to the... Absolutely. Thanks. I'm still learning my way through interpreting these kinds of drawings.
So am I, so don't worry.
So, Lupe, can you go back to the SD 1.1 that you started with?
Sure.
So, there is a line here
Yes.
that follows some waves, and it has an FL mark on it. Is that for a flow level of the
That
ditch?
is an existing roadside ditch, and that shows basically the flow of the water. So there's an existing ditch on the north side of Durden that comes east and then comes
Yeah,
under the
okay.
road currently and drains southeast
Okay.
to like So that's just, yeah, that's a flow line.
And that's what's there now.
That's which way the
And
water's
that's-
going.
And that's where that's the direction the water's going,
Red button, okay.
and
Yeah.
that's also where your
So right now,
outflow is here.
yes, sir.
Okay, I just
So,
want to let everybody
Yeah.
know that when you watch this and you read these numbers, you'll see that it dips, it rises,
Yes,
and
it's
it
not-
lowers again. So we're gonna have standing water in that ditch when that outflow comes out of that.
correct, and I think we had talked with Lupe, either the owner or somebody kind of just what we call regrading the ditch.
Sure.
Just to get, and that stuff is pretty common, I'm sure you guys see it all the time, it's just a lack of maintenance. You know,
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
grows, trash,
Yeah.
stuff gets in there, and, you know, you'll have ups and downs, so, you know, the thought was maybe regrading or at least clearing
Yeah,
or mowing that.
we've
just
tried to
get-
have these discussions going around, and I don't know, at some point it'd be great if we could have yet another development fee put in to
Yeah, I
get
know,
ditches
no, I
fixed.
know, yeah.
But we have a big problem because half of our ditches aren't city ditches,
Right.
and we can't really control that.
Yeah.
So, but here what we have is, a detent pond that's going in for several acres.
Yeah.
And we already have a ditch that's not
Yeah.
not an optimal ditch,
And so, and when they come in and they do that outflow structure right here, they'll probably smooth it out.
Okay.
And then also keep in mind that there's what they call a restrictor. So it restricts the amount of flow that comes out. It's not just everything goes in that pond and flows
Sure,
out.
I
It
mean,
restricts it down to the, you know,
You're
theoretically.
coming out with, in an 8-inch or 12-inch pipe.
Right,
Yeah.
you know, according to the codes, it needs to restrict to what the existing runoff would be
Yeah.
on all of those tracks currently. So you know, there's a little bit of math involved, you size the pipe, so it's only
Yeah,
letting
yeah.
out X amount of cubic feet that was there previously without
And-
any development.
And,
So
and
there
it's
is a
supposed to,
restriction.
and it's supposed to dump in 24 hours, yeah. Okay, well, that's that map, let me find my next one. 7D 2.5, are these ICFs that you're using to make, drainage lines?
Let me show me where you.
This is, SD 2.5.
Yeah, I think that's your hydrology chart.
Yeah, this. So, are these actually like ICFs that you're utilizing in component systems in order, all these forms?
Those are, I think, is that for the trench drain detail?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just and honestly, that's a standard, that's just for the trench detail that will be put on the property at.
And that's gonna be under the lot? That's how you put the line
Just in one area, if I could think it's at the north driveway, just instead of putting an inlet there, it's just that's a standard detail.
So that's just going across the face of the driveway?
Yes, just
Okay,
to collect
okay.
water, that's
And then-
not like the outfall structure or anything like that.
Okay, because it's hard to look at the map and see how this is
Yeah, I know,
connected to the other
yeah,
drainage.
it's on that north driveway just to catch that water, so we're not dumping, it into the street. And that will flow into.
But where does the end of that go? Because it doesn't look like it ties into the drainage line, where you have
There's, if you go to.
the A box that's on the side of the building in the drive-through. 'Cause I'm assuming what you're saying is that goes across the face of that. But all I see is a drain line there, a J box here, and another surface drain here, and all the water on this side of the lot is coming down to
If you go to the, I think
drain
it's
there.
SD 3.0, I believe, that is where you'll find the drainage plan. for
Yeah,
SD
3.0, yeah. But I see two surface connections,
Right,
because the J box is not connected to the surface, that's underground, correct?
so,
So there's a surface box A that's at the drive-through here, right there.
so there should be a
And there's
connection.
a
and
J
maybe-
box here, and then there's a surface drain here.
Right.
So why do you take this entire side of the lot and push all the water to this end and not have like another drain buried up there to get water underground early?
Simply just cost.
Dollars.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
just dollars.
So, yeah, it's really dollars, and, you know, not to get too technical, but there's a certain amount of distance that you can really try to flow water. So usually
Yeah,
like
yeah, I know. You
300-400
wanna keep
feet, and all the,
This high.
you know, all the developer stuff, they always say eliminate as many inlets as you can. You know what I mean? So it's just a cost thing.
Yeah,
So-
I look at it as shoes.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the farther you get to this end of the lot, the more water you're
Correct. And
accumulating.
you're
I mean,
absolutely
I
right.
know you're saying that it's this much flow at this rate, and it's the same height, it just flows faster.
Right, yeah.
Right, but that's not the way my shoes take it.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, yeah, and that's just honestly, like I said, a cost-saving measure for
Okay.
the developer, or the contractor. Usually the contractor, well, developers and contractor are both like, hey, pull out as many inlets as you can, you know. Sometimes it's possible, this is a relatively small site, we do, you know, we also do a lot of work in like some
Yeah.
big industrial parks, and they're like, there's too many inlets. It's like, you have a 35-acre site, like.
And it's,
you-
and it's
what do you
all,
want us to
it's
do?
all hardscape.
Yeah, so, yeah, exactly. It's just all pavement, and they're like, it's too many inlets. Well, it's like, well, you know, I
And-
can't flow water 500 or 600 feet down, the street, you know.
Yeah, yeah, no,
You're gonna get standing water,
Got it.
and, you know, I know you don't wanna put it in, but whoever buys that building is gonna be mad when they're sitting there truncing through water, so.
Right, well, I just look at it too, you know, before you pave it all over, you've got the opportunity to put something underground. Once you,
Right,
once you
yeah.
pave it, you don't, so.
Correct,
And
yeah.
I'm not a developer, so, so let's see, my other question about the water was, the stormwater calculations. I mean, I have this question all the time, and it's just something that we have to deal with, which is, you know, all these numbers are US Geologic and NOAA numbers, and none of them account for our flash rains. These are all, you know, 100-year floods, you know,
Correct.
36
Yeah, I
inches,
think-
36 inches in 48 hours.
Right, yeah.
That's not the way it rains. We get 5 inches of rain in an hour and a half, and it's a tremendous amount of water, and I
Right.
know that the pond is big enough. These tables, it looks like all these calculations are not done for the entire space, all the acreage, yet the 2 undeveloped spaces are going to be dumping into
Yes.
this detent pond.
So-
So what's with the
So
calculations
those
not
calculations
including
are
it?
for the storm sewer that we're doing on our site. So the pipes that you see on the Jack in the Box development.
Okay,
I think next door, I think there's talking with Starbucks about developing a Starbucks over there. They will do their own calculations. What we did is we sized the pond, I think it's 25, like whatever y'all's criteria is for whatever they are. The pond is sized off of that, but those calculations are just to show you that, hey, our pipe sizes that we're putting in our site are
okay.
adequate.
I see you scale up, you're going from a 15 to an 18
Yes,
to
as-
a 24.
yeah, exactly.
I
And
mean,
then-
yeah, because you're bringing in, you need a 24 here.
Yep.
Because you're bringing in this lot and this lot.
Yeah,
So
and
you need to be bigger, you know, so
Yes,
you're going,
correct.
I think it's 15 to 18 to 24.
That's usually about what.
Yeah, that makes sense to me, but I guess for me, I want to know that the calculations for the size of this pond
They account for all of the sites.
account for all, and do they account for all of it being hardscaped?
Yes, that's how we did it, yeah. Basically, if we said if this is all pavement, or 95% pavement.
Okay.
What's the runoff?
Because
What will it be? And then and that's how we size the pond. The calculations you're looking at.
Because the calculations here don't have the whole area, it's only
that's
2.18 acres.
It's really two different things,
Okay.
right? It's.
I just want to know that the
Yes,
ponds,
sir.
because I've tried to do some of this math, you know, it's really hard
If you have any
to.
question, we won't have it, but yes, you're
Yeah,
absolutely right. It's two different calculations.
okay.
What you're looking at is me basically saying, hey, guys, these are the pipes we're putting in. They meet your criteria. These are the years, you know, the events that you asked us
Right.
to calculate for our site. That's
Okay.
more of a pipe calculation
So-
for our site.
So when we
the pond.
get the other developers.
They
then-
should provide you with theirs.
And we need to watch their pipe diameters, because,
But if you notice, so we're stubbing out.
yeah, you're
to the-
stubbing out 18s. and-
Yeah, I think there should be a 20,
That's a 24 stub
Yeah.
north, and I think it's, I think, I know one of them was just 24.
I think we did an 18 and a, so we got
That was a
24,
24,
and two
they're both
24s coming out.
24s,
So that is, so we know that, so what we do when we calculate the pond, okay, what's the total runoff of all the sites? You know, and then we run it through our pipe, and we know that it will all fit through that 30 linear foot, 24-inch pipe going in.
Right.
So we just said, okay, let's give the other two developments 24-inch pipes. We know 24-inch will carry it. It might be oversized, but we don't want to stub out an 18-inch.
And,
they
yeah.
say, hey, I need, you know,
Right.
I can't make my calculations work through an 18-inch, you know,
Right.
so we know if everything will go through 24, those two sites will go
Okay.
through a 24.
All right.
And so that's what you're looking at, is those pipe calculations for the Jack site. But you're correct. The pond has been sized to account for
For the complete
hardscape for
acreage.
all,
Okay.
X amount of acres.
All right.
And you'll notice, just to kind of bring it up so there's no confusion, so you'll see that Chicken Express north of us, they're coming into us.
Yeah, and they're dumping into a pond already.
But their flow is restricted down into our pond. So originally, when we came in, they were just sheet flowing across our property.
Yes, yeah,
and
they
I
had
think
a
were
right- they had
proposing
an easement, yeah.
Yes, they were proposing an easement, so we worked with them. So basically, if you took I guess now, 1, 2, 3, 4, all 5 sites. Between their pond and our pond, the total volume adds up to
Right,
1. And
yeah.
then we had to do a restrictor to, like I said, to account for the 3 sites that, RAM is working on, as well as the Chicken Express. So it's all basically, what we did is we looked at the entire site, all of those sites, figured out the runoff existing, and then sized our restrictor when we add that pond plus our pond, and then we restrict it back down to the existing runoff.
Okay.
To, theoretical runoff, right? I mean,
And then, and
so.
the other question I had, which is just a drawing question,
Okay.
is what are the 3 blocks that show up at the bottom on a couple of things? They're like little trapezoids.
Those are the existing driveways where the previous.
Yeah, those are
okay.
existing,
Okay.
they're like a little
They're just
gravel
kind of on the map, and I
Yeah,
just
they're
couldn't
just
see
there.
exactly
We just
what they
wanna show
were.
'em. I mean, some people like to see what's there.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a feeling they'll probably clear those out.
Oh, sure.
When
Yeah.
they dig the pond, but you're talking about those, those
Yeah,
are just
yeah, it was
little.
just really confusing to me. I couldn't
Yeah,
quite,
they're just little driveways
Okay.
that were there. I think when they bought the site, there was actually some mobile homes or something
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
And so those are probably their driveways that were existing off the side of the road. They're just, the survey, when they go out and they take the survey, they show, because
Yeah, they show
sometimes
it.
people will reuse those driveways, I'm sure, have you seen? But that's just existing driveways, that were there when basically, I think they're probably gravel. They might be asphalt, but I bet you they're probably gravel.
Yeah, they're all gravel.
Or something like
And
that.
then,
Yes, sir.
and then part of the road work, you're gonna be putting in the culvert as well, that's a new
Yeah,
culvert.
there's going to be a
Yeah.
culvert underneath that you see at the corner,
Does-
and then, there's another set of plans for, this is, I believe, Lupe, you tell me if I'm wrong, this set of plans is, actually I know it is, because we're looking at it, this is for the Jack in the Box.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There's a separate set of plans that Lupe and his team has been reviewing for the street. So there's a little bit more detail with the street,
Okay.
but yes, there's gonna be a culvert, and then we're gonna put, a curb cut on that northeast curb at the corner. So basically, water will come down, so everything on the, I guess, your west side of the road will go west and then flow under, everything on the east will flow down, and then there's gonna be like a curb cut, so it can come down, and then there's a ditch where it flows, and then that's where it's all going right now as well. You know what I mean? It all comes down those two, well, you can't see the ditch up there now because the road has been filled in, but we're gonna carry now all that water down the road, is what we think we decided with Lupe and his group. They said, let's just bring it down and.
Does that sort of just flat out into the field, or is that another ditch?
No, so that's actually
Or a
a
creek
small
there.
creek that
Yeah, there's a
leads
creek
to
there.
It
Okay,
leads to
yeah.
Sandy Creek.
Yeah, if you
Um,
look
okay.
at it on like.
It's a vein
like-
of a bigger creek.
Okay.
If
Well,
you look
that's
on the
good,
Google
rather
Earth, you
than
can
just
kind of
going
follow
into
the
a
tree
field.
line, and you'll see,
Okay.
and that's where all that stuff goes currently. Yeah, you can see
Yeah.
that
See,
little
here's the
tree
big
line that
creek.
goes into that, yeah.
Yeah.
And is the entire lot going to be curbed, that drain B? Is that taking all the water, or is there gonna be some cuts there that are gonna kind of drain into the other lot?
No, everything.
It's 100% curbed.
Yes, everything, theoretically, every drop of water or drop of rain should be collected in that storm sewer that we are proposing
Okay.
and taken to the pond. That's the idea. You don't ever want to dump on someone else's property,
Yeah.
No, there will be a curb down there. Eventually, when someone comes in, they'll cut that curb out so, that someone can come in that driveway and come into their property. But, they'll collect their own water. But as of right now, let's say that, theoretically, nobody comes in. That water, we will not be dumping any water on that south side.
Okay. And you're raising the grade a couple of inches?
Yeah, because
It's
I don't
like-
know if you how familiar you are with the area, but there's a pretty steep.
Well, Chicken Express is tremendously brought in a
Yes.
lot of grade.
Oh,
but
yeah.
You're not. It looked like
We're bringing in
two or
a
4
fair
inches,
amount,
yeah.
but yeah, we're trying to keep, again, cost-cutting measure. He didn't want to raise it too much, but, there's from basically north to south coming down Durden, it was, I want to say like 8 or 10 feet difference in elevation. It
Oh,
was,
really?
it was significant. And so, yeah, they're bringing in, I think our finished floor is like 241, and like, you look down at the bottom, I think that's like 233, those little light numbers, those
Yeah,
are the
it's
existing grades. So
232s,
they're putting a fair amount of fill in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
And
I
I think that when they're coming in, he's gonna fill, I don't know, I don't wanna, speak out of turn, but I think they have a deal with the Starbucks that's going in to the west that he's gonna fill all of it, so it's, we're not sitting up here.
Well, that was when the Chicken Express was going, that was one of my questions to them. So you're putting
Yeah.
all this grade in, what's the guy next to you
Yeah,
gonna
exactly.
He
So-
has no choice, right? He's
Yeah.
gotta, or it's gonna be really wonky, or somebody's gonna have to build a retaining wall or something like that.
Yeah, and so I think
But
that-
you're on the,
Yeah.
not quite as steep as what they had to deal
Yeah,
with.
yeah, I think, like I said, I don't know what the timetable is, and you may know better than I do for the Starbucks, but I believe part of their agreement is to basically raise the whole site. So when they are doing construction and when they're complete, yes, we have a curb, but if we're 4 feet, if we're sitting up on an island at 4 feet, you're going to get runoff. You're going to get water. So I think he's going to bring everything up at the same time. That's what I understand. And I can double check with the owner what his plan is. But I believe to bring I know eventually the whole site will be brought up, obviously, because you don't want a building up here, down here. But yeah, I think that they're going to bring everything up.
You're all kind of using the same road in, so you
exactly.
you can't be too far off from each other.
No,
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you. I mean, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem. And just one other comment. So we're putting those 2 driveways in, and you asked about the sidewalk. We are putting a sidewalk along 105, but you'll notice it's kind of lower than where it is. We are also putting in and I know this doesn't necessarily affect you guys because it's a tech stop, but we're putting a deceleration lane in on 105. We had originally tried to see if we could, eke out a driveway from them, and they're like, no, it's already kind of people are already trying to jock for position, trying to get in front of each other when it goes down to 1 lane. We don't want any more driveways, so we settled on putting that, and you can see there, that curb line, right? Yeah, that's
Cool.
It's going to be proposed. I mean, I guess technically on this drawing it should be existing but we're doing it on another set of plans with TxDOT that they've approved that. So that deceleration lane will be in there, and then we'll put in, the sidewalk across our property, and then obviously, whatever Starbucks does. I assume that they'll put one in there in lieu of paying the fees because it would be weird. We have a sidewalk, no sidewalk. Chicken Express has their sidewalk.
They'll be hard to get.
Yeah,
get that past
I mean, I guess
that
law, but I would think that they would put it in there too.
Yeah.
And I got 75, 10, 32 is the fees, and I'll that as soon as I leave here, I'll tell Mark, because he said, yeah, let's just do that. We don't really have room to put a sidewalk even if we wanted to, so we'll definitely get those fees taken care of. We got the plat taken care of. We pulled off that right-of-way limit, and that's in works. I think our surveyor he said the county, maybe it was the county or you guys today, and it's on its way.
Okay.
So that's all cleared up. So everything's in motion. And then, like I said, I don't think there's anything. I think we finally figured out the utility issues. We were trying to determine where we should pull our utilities. We're going to come across Durden, and it turned out one of the lines was abandoned. Then we're going to go to 105, but we got all that cleared out. I talked to Mark. He's good with stubbing out to each of those future pads, and so everything is kind of in working order finally.
Excellent. All right, I'm done with the water questions.
James, do you have any questions?
No.
Do you?
No, sir.
Good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. No, thank you. Run off with it.
I make a motion that we approve the preliminary site plan and the fee in lieu of sidewalk construction application submitted by Ram Navasota, LLC.
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Commissioner Harris and Commissioner Dia. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, none. Motion carries.
Okay.
Leads us to item number 6, which is consideration of possible action on approval of the minutes of the meeting of July 14th, 2022 as presented.
Looks good to me.
I'm double-sided, brother. That's if y'all approve it.
So move on the minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, none. Motion carries. leads us to the next item, which is adjournment. At 6:35.
6:35.